masking up a canopy. I'm doing this again on this one because, well, I've got over 200 videos on my channel and not everybody watches every single one of them, but I thought I'd try this again and show you how I mask up a canopy. The first thing to do is to find a straight line on it. That's a bit hard sometimes, but I use a straight side of the tape to go down that line. If I can. You can hold these up to the light and have a look through. And you can see whether you've got any gaps or you've gone over too far, which I have, I think. Just a gnat's whisker to see. Sorry, I'm out of frame now. Just you can lift up this tape as many times as you like. It's really nice and sticky. So once you have it in place where you want it, use a cocktail stick, a sharp-ended one, and you can buff the edge right into the window bead, as you can see I'm doing here. You'll know when it's stuck permanently because the tape colour will actually change. Now we do actually have an awkward piece here, so I'm going to just do this piece. Down the bottom here, where the cocktail stick is, there's a lump sticking up. It's actually something to do with the one of the instruments. I'm not sure what it is actually, but we'll need to cut around that. The best way I found for cutting is a scalpel blade, brand new one, straight out of the packet. So be very careful when you use these. I've seen people use them on with handles. I used to use it with a handle, but I did slip a few times and I had to repolish the canopy and all that. I've found that I've been using it more on its own, just in between my fingers. Be very careful when you do these. These are sharp. These are meant for cutting skin open, and they do it very well. So just be aware of what you're doing. This is not one you should be doing while thinking about dinner. So little warning there. I can just run the blade lightly, and I mean lightly, across the corner of the tape and the part. It's basically, what you need to do is get in here at about 45 degrees to the corner and lightly drag it down. Now that blade will follow that corner all the way down. And the same comes when when you go to a round piece. If you've got it at a 45 degree angle and lightly go round the corner, it will follow it. I'm just about to do that right now. Actually, I've got to buff this down again. I just want to make sure I've cut this here. And now we can come down the side of this and buff it in. Now if you cut a little bit too far in here, that doesn't matter. When you buff it down, you'll find that it will seal up the joint. But I do have a little trick up my sleeve again to do that. So I'm just buffing the rest of this down so I can cut the tape off, and you'll see what I mean. And I pull this back here, and this should be masked now. Right, another little trick to do is, you saw me cut that. Now if I'd gone too far on this part here and cut into the piece that I need masking up the window just here, there's a little cut line there now. If I can get this off, excuse me. I use some mask oil on just on the tip of the cocktail stick. God, my memory's going. And I just start dabbing where I've made that cut in the tape that I need to be sealed, and it will be a very easy matter of just running a tiny bit of mask oil over that thing. I say easy, that bit dried out on me. It's because I've got these big lights on for videoing, you see. So we'll just drop that into there, and now we can leave it. The rest of this get painted now, and it won't sink underneath the tape. What I will do is, before I actually give this a spray, I will give these an extra buff down, just in case they've come up while I've been waiting for the glue to dry the canopy onto the model itself. Just an extra little precaution that I deal with. And that's how I mask up the windows. Right, I hope that's helped you out. So there we have it. You can go out and buy masks for the job. I do have masks for other aircraft. If you're doing this on something like the HE-111, a mask set for that particular model would be preferable. It'd be a lot easier, be quicker, you could do it. But you could do it this way as well. It would just take you a lot longer, but it would save you a lot of money. Right, I don't know whether you can see these here, but I'll come in as close as I can. This is the seat belts on the first seat, all complete. This one I've still got to do the shoulder straps on it, but the rest of it has been done. So they're almost done now. I've still got a lot more to do to the aircraft, but that's as far as I got with the seat belts. I've still got to put the buckles on these two here as well. I've got the front undercarriage. I've got the front undercarriage on. I didn't put the main undercarriage on because all the underneath has been masked up. And I wanted to make sure it was, I didn't knock anything off that I needed. I still got the air brakes to prime up. That's the next job tonight. What I've done here is, excuse me, what I've done here is I've got the canopy clear parts that I've got on. The back part is a solid plastic piece, so we don't have to worry about that. But these have had to have had the cockpits filled due to the fact that once you put the bubble canopies on, the sliding parts, you can't get to these parts, and the other canopies go over the top and locks in, so you can't do anything with them. Plus, here's a picture of the canopies. There, as you can see, the bars are white on them. The bars on this part of it are camouflage colours. So I've got to do this camouflage, that's why I've masked up the cockpit to do these with. Here we have it. I was hoping to have it a lot further on than I have, but nearly all my mates have had parties and they've dragged me along to them. Not unwillingly, but I wasn't planning on going to a lot of them this year. Having said that, that means that I haven't got this done in time for the new year, unfortunately. What I have done is I've masked up the underside. I've got the front nose wheel on. I've still got to do the undercarriage for the main undercarriage on there, but I left that off because I've got to mask up the rest of this, which I've done now. I've given it a coat of grey primer and I started doing the pre-shading. Yeah, not very good. I That's because the paint I was using was X1, but it's not X1. I've added to this. It's got grey in it, and it's got a little bit of green and a little bit of brown, so that I've got it down to sort of a tonal value of a rubber finish for the tyres. But it's the only black I've got left. I tried with this black, which is aqua black from Revell. This really doesn't like going through my airbrush. I don't know why, but it just doesn't want to know. And as Model Zone has packed in, I can't just step down the road and get Tamiya black if I wanted it. I've got to travel about 12-15 miles away to the nearest shop, and I haven't been able to do that over the Christmas period. So I'll use that to do the canopies, which I've glued on now on here. Give them the coat of black, and then gone over with the primer. And the pre-shading is done with my tyre black, basically. And it was a little bit thin. I couldn't control it in the airbrush because I haven't done a lot of that recently. So, not done a very good job. Now, having said that, this is going to be the colours are going to be very dark on here, not like my Canberra. It's dark sea grey and a dark green, and I don't think anything will really show through on this. I'm hoping I can get the grey thin enough so that some of this pre-shading will come through, but it looks like I'm going to have to post-shade it. Anyway, getting on with the thing is that all the parts are now being pre-shaded, except for the air brakes, which I've still got a prime as well. But she's almost there. She is almost there. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get it finished before. It's going to be the first week in 2014. I wanted it finished 2013 to be the last model. It hasn't worked out because of parties and not having enough time to do the stuff. So, for now, I'm going to say that's it for this part. See you in the next bit. Don't know whether you can see this, but I've done the dark sea grey on it now. I've given the panels the same sort of treatments I've done with the Canberra. That's spray the grey on there, lighten the grey down with a couple of drops of white, another load of thinners into the cup, and then touched in the centre of the panels, and a third time lighten it down, one more drop and a whole load more thinners in it, and give the whole thing a little spray again, and then give a dusting over the whole thing in one go. Okay, got the camo pattern done. Again, I used a blown up version of the camo from the instructions, cut it out, used white tack worms on the back of it and glued it down to give me a slightly softened edge. Unfortunately, around this area it's given me too much of a softened edge. I've got to go around and tartan that up a bit. Apart from that, it's come out lovely. The couple of things, well, three things actually that happened. One is I broke this aerial off. I caught it and I just snapped it off. I've got that part though. That's easy enough to go back on. So what I did on this side, I took this one off. I'll put that back on after it's all done. One thing was I put this up on its edge to get into these areas here and here. Sorry, can you see that? Here and here, and on the tail section here and on this section here. In doing that, I broke the nozzle off of the refueling tube. Not as bad as you think. It's right at the joint, so no problem there. It'll go back on, you won't even see it. One thing is, the pilot tube here is in let me just pull this up. One of the white worm tubes I used. I say it's in there. I haven't found it yet. I'm still going through these. But I think what's happened is when I put it down and pulled it back up again, it's stuck in here. It's come away from the fuselage. If I can't find it, I'm going to have to make one up from scratch. Not too much of a problem, but just more time. Next thing to do on this is to tidy this section up here and get a coat of clear over the top of it, or 2 coats actually, so I can do the decaling. Everything else has gone fine, no other problems. Tailplane, it came out nice as well. This isn't glued together. I just taped them up so I can get the camo pattern in the correct place. Same with the rudder. This ain't actually glued on. It's just slipped in there loose. But I've done the camo pattern on that as well. It'll be easy by the time I come to do the decal on there. Too many parties this Christmas. Anyway, the other things I've got to do on here is I've got black rings on the intakes and a nose to do. Right, that's it for part 7. Hope you've had a nice new year, and hope the rest of the year goes as well for you. So for me it's good night, from him it's good night. See you all soon. Bye for now.